Mr. Tanaka needs 2 students to go to the library, pick up the bin of books Miss Cleary, the librarian, put together for our class study of France. He sends me and Olivia. We walk down the hall together, but not Olivia and me, until the doorway to the library forces us closer together, almost touching. Olivia steps back, lets me go in first, alone. We each take hold of one side of the bin, carry it between us down the hallway toward our class. Books between us, stories linking us like Iris and the bookshop man. Only I couldn't stand it if Olivia and I ended the same way, never seeing one another after this chapter is over. My feet stop moving just before we arrive at our classroom. Olivia has to stop too, looks at me questioning. I hold my bin handle with one hand, sign on the other. I'm sorry for what I did. Sorry for what I said. I don't hate you, could never hate you. I'm sorry. Olivia drops her gaze, stares at the floor tiles, not answering, refusing to look at me. Then her head jerks up and she makes the face that says, "Yikes," tells me Mr. Tanaka just called out, asked if we were planning to stay out here all day. Said they were all waiting, and I think he means they're waiting for us to be friends again, but really, they just need the books about France. Olivia steps toward the door, tugs the bin along, tugging me, but I stand firm. Remember going to the library together at the beginning of 2nd grade? Mr. Tanaka came in with the 6th graders so big, so old, and we pretended we weren't even scared of them, but we were. Olivia laughs, maybe forgetting for a moment that she's mad. I was scared, she says. We're just as cool as they are. And now we're the 6th graders, I say. I wonder if the little kids are afraid of us. She glances toward the class, smile fading. We should go in. I try once more. I miss you. You're supposed to be part of my story. Olivia's brow scrunches. I circle my fist on my chest once more. I'm sorry. Slowly, so slowly, it feels like waiting for a sunflower to turn toward light. She turns her head toward me. Okay, she says. I'm sorry, too, for saying that thing about your dad. She pauses, grimaces, and for ignoring you in art. The book bin suddenly seems lighter, the hallway brighter. Want to come over after school to work on our projects, she asks. And I know she misses me, too. I want to go, really want to, but I think of Iris waiting to visit Marjorie. Or I say, we could go on a field trip. It's only a couple of blocks, 4 stops along the bus route, but these days it's too far for Iris to walk. Iris and Olivia and I climb off the bus in front of a low building with a long row of windows. We file along a petunia-lined walkway, pull open the double doors, step inside where an odd mix of smells greets us. The sharp scent of cleanser layered with a softer, rich, homey smell, banana bread. I look across the lounge area on my left where a few people relax on couches. 2 men in wheelchairs work a puzzle at the table. Then I spy the source of a good part of the smell, a kitchen area where 2 women who must be near Iris's age are clapping while a younger man lifts a loaf pan above his head like an athlete hoisting a trophy. A nurse stands behind the reception desk. When she spots Iris, she lights up, bright as the Tweety birds flitting across her scrub top. She comes around the desk, hugs Iris, shakes hands with Olivia and me, then disappears down a long hallway. A couple minutes later, she's back, pushing an old woman in a wheelchair. Iris grins like a kid at the entrance to Disneyland, and I know this must be Marjorie. The nurse, Natalie, parks Marjorie in her wheelchair next to a table. "Girls," says Iris, "this is Marjorie." Marjorie frowns, almost a scowl. She looks us over, speaks to Iris. Olivia interprets as much as she can. "I don't know you." "I'm Iris. We've been friends a long time." "Who are these kids?" "New friends of mine. They came to meet you." "Why?" "To hear your stories." As it turns out, Marjorie doesn't seem to have the words to tell her stories. Not today. Iris fills in the blank. "She was a pilot, you know," Iris says. Face turned to me so I can see her words. "A pilot?" At the moment, I can't imagine Marjorie steering her wheelchair, never mind sitting at the controls flying a plane. I must have misunderstood. "A what?" I ask. Iris carefully forms the letters, P-I-L-O-T, and my mouth drops open in surprise. "Really?" I say. Iris nods, begins telling us more. I look to Olivia for help, hope she won't mind interpreting. She flew a courier plane, did some charter work for a few years at a time when there weren't many women in the job. "How did you 2 meet?" I ask. "You weren't, I imagine, a rainbow goddess. Orange flight uniform zipping around real rainbows in a jet." But no, Iris says they met at the airport, but she never wanted to fly planes herself.